Love you both.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Center for Conscious Living. You have Spencer, Renee, and Lori here. Thank you for joining us this morning as we start part two, Energy, Self Mastery, and Conscious Choice of our fall series, Essential Elements of Conscious Communication. We appreciate you being here for this and joining us. If you're not familiar with us, um, we're doing this live stream every single week, just about, except for, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I'm used to that. That's an old muscle memory right there. We used to do it every week. We now do 3 weekends a month, and we are on this week. However, we are off the next week, returning on November 6th. If you want to mark your calendar, otherwise you can add us on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe to us, ring the little bells that are there so you get the notifications right on your phone every time we go live. Even though I'm here doing it, my phone still vibrates every time I start us up. So you can get those work without fail as well. So thank you so much for joining us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, which means we rely on your support, and first and foremost, it's your presence. So again, thank you so much for being here. You can find links for how you can support us in the description. Also, leaving us comments, reactions, sharing this video, all of that social media stuff really does help us grow and spread this message to those you love and around the world. So we thank you in advance for helping us out with that. If you'd like to help us out financially and help keep the operational expenses rolling, there are links to do so as well in the description, or potentially comments depending on where you're watching. With that being said, just want to reiterate, next week we'll be off and we will return on November 6th. And I know this is kind of scattered, but you can also use the comments for things to say, like good morning, like I'm seeing Claudia doing on YouTube. So good morning there on YouTube. And we also invite you to participate later. The second half of this will be a conversation piece. So we will keep your responses private, your name private, for anything sensitive like that, and just kind of discuss perhaps what you're going through and how the principles can be applied to your experience. So thank you for that. Also, feel free to use the comments to let me know if you can't hear. If there's a technical difficulty, I do my best to monitor them and adjust accordingly. I think that's all I have to say, so I will let Renee take it from there.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Claudia. And yes, we're about to go into our message. I do want to. I got a kitty that wants to play really bad. Hold on one second, baby. You need to stay up there. Thank you. So, okay. Yes, we are here for the second principle of a new series called Cultivating Conscious Communication. So let's talk for a second about what is that exactly. Last week we had our first part, which was about understanding sacred energy dynamics in relationships, so that we have an intention of having sacred relationships. And that is essentially why you would want to cultivate how to have conscious communication, because you want your relationships to have the underlying intention of sacredness, mutual sacredness and honor between one another. So we're going to expand on that every week. This is part of a new video series. We're beginning to produce some video courses for you. So those will be rolling out soon. We're working on them. And this is another one. We've been working with those. Hold on, in case people can't hear me. I know people text me sometimes to tell me, we can't hear you. So, nope. Okay. So, what is important is to know that we are giving you a sneak peek of the video courses. And so I encourage you to really take this in. These are very important principles. They're the core teachings for living consciously. Now, as Spencer said, this is the second part. I'm changing my view here. This is the second part, and the second principle, you might say. And today we're talking about energy self-mastery and conscious choice within the energy dynamic of communication and relationship, and how to do that in ways that are conscious. So I have light all around me. It's kind of cool, kind of interesting. So I do want to explain where I'm coming from with that. And as we do, let's get grounded a little bit, and let's start with that sacred space that we like to do, holding that for ourselves and others. So I invite you to first of all focus within yourself, focus on your heart, and take a deep breath and exhale with sound. Ooh, that helps ground your body or ground your energy in your body. And then feel into your heart. Is there anything in your life that you just want to feel calm about? So, whatever that is, just let it be while you're with us today. Just let it be for a moment, the best you can. And then we'll see when we go into our energy immersion after in meditation, we'll address whatever that is for you. Okay. And we'll see how it feels then. So for now, just lay it down for the moment. Just lay it down and be fully present and receive this message. It's our offering to you. We love to do this. Okay. So now let's go back to the message, which is about understanding the importance of conscious choice within relationships so that they will be sacred, so that your intention to be sacred will play out. And that in order to do that, you must manage or master your energy. And what do I mean by master your energy? If that's a new term for you, or even if it's not new, you may have a meaning of it that's a little different from what I'm wanting to convey. That's part of what we're going to talk about today is how that happens in communication. So when I say self-mastery of your energy, what I mean is you're aware of your energy. You may also be aware of other people's energy, but you don't spend all of your focus and all of your time and quote effort in your day-to-day experiences trying to manage other people's energy. You practice awareness of their energy. Yes, we're going to talk about that. You do so without losing awareness of your energy. And you do so without causing the awareness of your energy to be secondary to the awareness of other energy, the energy of life, the energy of the planet, the energy of people around you, the energy of pets that want to play, want to participate on a live stream. You have the awareness of that, but you hold your own energy. And why? Well, we did talk about that last week, and we talked about that a lot. Is part of one of the most important elements of a person who's choosing to live consciously. If you don't master your energy, you will not be able to make conscious choice. It won't be possible for you to be in the moment creating experiences you really choose. You will be inadvertently creating experiences and rendezvousing with other people who are creating experiences that are not what you choose. And sometimes it's kind of a small thing, not a big deal, but sometimes it is a big deal. And if it's something that becomes consistently how you live, then you're not living your life consciously. You're just kind of, it's like you're in a paddle boat and you never pick up the paddles, the oars, and you never choose what direction to go. And you always just let other people's energy stream take you, right? And the most important element of holding your own energy is to know that what you're really doing in that is you're knowing that there is divine power and presence available. It's within you, it's without you, it's always available. And you know that, and you trust that, and you open to it. And then you receive guidance, you receive information, you receive ideas, you receive courage when you need it, you receive calm when you need it. It's a very important element of how to live consciously is to know that you have access to divine presence and power, and that you can open to that anytime you choose and let it guide you. And also, it helps you to sense other people's energy without getting lost in it, because you're connected with your unique divine self leading you from that beautiful energy field that is God or spirit, divine creator, the divine. There's a lot of ways you can describe it. Beloved source energy, the power that creates worlds. It is the life force that is available to all sentient beings. So I want to ask you for a moment. Just take a deep breath, please. Are you aware of divine presence and power within you right now? Or maybe the better question is, to what degree are you aware of it? My kitty is determined to play today. Let me back up. I don't want him to fall. Come here, darling. Let's move this for you. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, let's try to get him. I don't want him to fall as he's trying to get on the chair. So, are you aware of divine presence and power with you right now? And I invite you to intentionally, like, still your thoughts. You don't shut off your mind. You just sort of calm your thoughts, drop into your heart, and open to that more. Just open to it. It's not an effort. It's more of a releasing of effort. It's a sense of just being. Just being. Okay, now take a deep breath. And then I want to ask you this: as you're in that state of awareness of divine presence and power with you, within you, and all around you, now having that awareness within you will also cause you to be more aware of that presence all around you, within others, within all sentient beings, actually, within the earth, within nature, within other people as well. So bring to mind someone in your life. We're going to use this later in our meditative energy immersion. Bring to mind someone in your life who it's very important for you at this moment to have more harmony with. This could be somebody you love dearly, and so you want more harmony. Or it could be someone that it's somebody new in your life. Maybe it's somebody you're trying to collaborate on a project with, work, volunteer, something like that. And you don't know them well, and you need a little more harmony for it to flow better. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be a little, but if it is something really big and there is quite a bit of contrast in the your energy and theirs, and it's not flowing well, whether it's a little bit of it's influx or it's hugely influx, either one is fine. Whatever is important to you, another person you want more harmony with. Okay. Now just stay with that and just set that as an intention that today, during this time, whether you're with us live or later on the replay, your intention is that you're going to open to a new way, a more easeful, natural way, using awareness of energy, divine presence and power, using a more evolved consciousness so that you stay in a state of self-mastery of your energy and make conscious choices when you engage with this person, when you're communicating with them, when you're participating in some activity with them, or just when you're thinking about them. Okay? Just set that as your intention. And now let it be. Just let it be. Let it be almost effortless, because it will become to you through divine presence and power. And then you will know if there's something to do or not, and you will know if there's something to be said or not. Okay. Now, I want to talk about awareness of other people's energy as a two-sided coin, a beautiful coin, a very important coin, a coin that's part of the joy of living. And there's two sides to it. One side of it is it's used with wisdom and with a very sacred intention. That sacred intention is what we talked about last week. It's the awareness so that you can learn how to hold your own energy, your own frequency, your own consciousness is at play in your choices. And yet you stay aware. You stay aware because you care about other people. You stay aware because their energy, is something that is around you, and you want to be aware in a kind way, in a in a high wisdom, not in a judgmental, but in just it's informative. It makes life flow better. That's one side of the coin. Now, the other side of the coin is something that happens when you don't approach it with divine presence and power, when you approach it more as a kind of a little game that starts to begin to play between humans at the human level of awareness. And you say, oh, I kind of have this special gift. I see energy, or I sense energy, or I something about energy that you're more aware than you used to be. And I just want to say, first of all, that's very natural as people are awakening to divine presence and power within them at all times. We have the ability to feel energy more clearly. At first, it can be a little overwhelming, and some people think that there's something wrong. They're too sensitive, and it's not bad. It's that you do need to learn how to stay grounded and open to source when you're feeling all this energy around you. That's not your energy, right? Because it's your energy is yours to master. Other people's is not yours to master. Aware, but don't try to have mastery over their energy. You don't need to, because if you're mastering your energy, what they're doing with their energy is about them and for them. You can be aware because you care about them. You can be aware because it impacts something that involves you, especially if you're working, collaborating on something, whether it's family or business or community. But we don't want to get into the human ego game of trying to play with other people's energy. And what I mean by that is it's like kind of like this new toy. You go, oh, wow, look, I kind of can sense something before they say it. I sense they might have a sadness. And so you reach out to them. That's a kindness. As long as your intention is high consciousness. If your intention is to sort of have this mastery, like, look, I know more about you. I sense your energy better than you do. That's not helping them. You see, that's like playing with them. We don't want to treat people. That's not sacred. Having somebody that you care about and you have awareness that they might need a little encouragement, and you offer it in a text or a phone call or an email or something, that's lovely. Don't get your ego attached to it. Like that makes you somehow more evolved than them, or, don't try to like manipulate their energy, right? Be aware for the purpose of sacred honor, only for the purpose of sacred honor, mutual joy. And so it is important that when you're engaging with someone, you sense something's off. Maybe it's someone you know really well. And sometimes you hear it in their voice, you see it on their face if you're interacting in person or in a way that you can see their face. Sometimes you just literally sense it. You just sense it. You may not even be communicating with them and you sense it, but you're actually energetically communicating whenever you focus on somebody, right? So that's how you want to be careful that you're not pushing energy, like you're holding your space, your energy in your space. You're holding space for them to know divine presence and power, for them to know it, for them to connect to divine presence and power. You're not doing it for them. You can't do it for them, but you're not attempting that. See, that becomes sort of this game that happens. We want to be very honorable with energy awareness. And I know it can happen because it's like I was saying, it's like you know, a kid at Christmas, you get a new toy, and you're like, oh, I want to play with this. Just be very honorable and make sure your intention is always sacred in how you learn to understand energy and master energy. And make sure it's sacred toward yourself as well. So you don't want to, like, let's, as I was saying, you don't want to deny that you're feeling more energy and just say, well, what's wrong with me? I'm just being too sensitive today, or I'm just being too easily flustered today, or I can't stay focused. You know, honor what you're feeling, honor that you're feeling something, and then ground yourself if that's what you need, or open more. A lot of times we need to open to divine presence more and stop being so fixated on some other energy distraction, the energy of a distraction in our awareness, in our work, in our home, or, driving the car or out running errands or something. So take a breath, please. Okay, so let's go back to this example. So you're engaging with somebody, you're in some interacting in some way. This is someone you care about, or somebody, whether it's somebody you care dearly about or somebody you care about because you're trying to collaborate with them. So you care about having harmony. Now, what do you do when you're aware that something's off? It's not, there's not harmony. There's not resonance in the energy exchange between you and this person. There's some sort of static, you might say. It's like dissonance. It's just not harmony, right? We talked about it last week, like the symphony tuning up. It feels like that. And you're like, well, that's okay for a minute, but now you want to get into that beautiful flow where the music feels wonderful. It's all, it's literally the tuning. It's like the tuning fork that causes the string in the piano to play that is in resonance with that tune, that exact tone. And so when you're trying to be in harmony with someone else, with your energy and their energy, and it feels like, it's kind of like it's not in tune, right? It's not in sync. It feels like, you can tell it feels off, doesn't it? So what do you do when you feel that? First of all, do you honor that you are picking up on that you do have the awareness that something's off? Do you honor that that is true for you, even if they may not feel it? It's true for you. I hope you do. I invite you to choose now to begin doing that. So very quietly, you don't have to say anything, just within yourself, honor. Something feels off here. We're not in sync. We're not singing the same tone. The music isn't as enjoyable as I'd like it to be. Just honor that. You don't have to change it, but honor it, right? And then after you honor that, what do you choose next? Do you choose to deepen your energy to the frequency you want to experience, to make sure you're tuned in at the level of joy or peace or harmony or ease or creativity or clarity or focus or peace? Do you tune in yourself in first, or do you try to change them, what they feel? Do you try to master their energy? As you try to change their feelings, you're trying to have mastery over their energy. Now, you can ask them if they would like any support. Let's say that it's obvious they're sad or upset or angry or confused or overwhelmed about something, and they've told you that, or you can sense it. You could say, is there anything I can do? You can even say, you seem a little sad. Is there anything I can do? You don't seem yourself. Is there anything I can do? But if you just jump in and try to make them feel better, that's really, it's kind of like we're going to go into this more in another week, pushing and pulling energy. Let them have their energy. They're the one who needs to change their energy frequency. And they won't learn how to do that if everybody around them is trying to change them. And so I invite you very lovingly to be aware that if you're always trying to change other people's energy for you to feel better, that's actually not a kind thing to do. And it's not sacred. They need to process their feelings. They need to feel what they're feeling and learn how to shift their energy. Certainly, you can offer to help them if they'd like that, if they're open to that. If they don't even speak that language, it might not be appropriate. But what can you do? You hold your energy in a high frequency. So, one of the things my kind of go to is when I'm not sure and things don't seem harmonious, but I'd like them to be, but it's not appropriate for me maybe to say that to the person, whether I'm in their energy field or I'm just thinking of them. I just say, you know what? Whatever's going on, I choose love. I choose pure divine love. I'm going to hold that in my energy field. I choose love. You could choose clarity. You could choose harmony. I choose love. I just choose love. I choose love for me. I choose love for that person. I choose love for anybody and everybody involved in the situation that I may not even know who's involved in this, that's creating in this other person the dissonance that I'm picking up on. I just choose love. But you start with you. You have to feel that vibration yourself, because otherwise when you're focusing your energy toward them and what you're flowing to them is whatever the frequency you're holding. And if you're not holding a high frequency, you're not helping them. Do you see how that is? The self mastery is important, and then make the conscious choice in this interaction. Something's off. Maybe we talk about it, maybe we don't. Maybe I offer to help. Maybe I just quietly hold my energy. But even if you offer to help, make sure you've made a conscious choice to master your energy first. I hope that makes sense. We're going to do a process now, and then we'll have a conversation where you can ask questions if you'd like. Okay, so I invite everyone to just take a very, very deep, deep breath. And exhale. Oh. Okay. And if you want to close your eyes, you can. You don't have to. I think Spencer has added some music for us. So I invite you to return to that situation, an interaction with someone you care very much about, an interaction that you want to have more harmony with a person, or you want them to have more harmony with something. And just return to that situation now and just hold it in your heart and ask your beautiful brain to pause, because you will put it into play when you are guided exactly what to do or say, and then your beautiful intelligence will help you with it. But for now, we want to open to divine guidance, which means we get grounded. We open to divine presence and power. We feel it. We trust it. It is here for you. It's here for everyone. Feel into it being present within you for you. And now just very gently allow any guidance to come to you with this situation with your loved one or somebody you're collaborating with on a project that you would like more harmony with. Just allow the guidance. This thing that feels off, whether it's between the two of you or just within the other person, honor the awareness. Just honor it. You don't have to be responsible for changing it at all. Just honor it. The only person you can change is you. What is something to do with you that might need to change? Perhaps your energy has not been where you thought it was. Perhaps you haven't been staying steady with a clear focus of a high frequency. The consciousness you really wanted to bring isn't the consciousness you've been bringing. Perhaps you have been very, very steady, and the consciousness you've been expressing is exactly what you wanted. And you have been bringing that energy into the situation. Just recommit to it. Either way, recommit. Conscious choice, clear intention, sacredness in the energy dynamic here. You're not trying to control them or change them. You're just going to be. And now, ask for guidance. Is there something you need to say to this person, or do you just quietly hold sacred space for them and allow them to come to it on their own? Allow them to come to you if they want your assistance. You'll know what to do. If you don't get the answer exactly this moment, you can come back and do this later. You can do this as many times as you'd like, as often as you like. Make sure your intention is sacredness, not mastering their energy. It's mastering your energy. Take a breath. And now, take your time coming back into focus. We are going to open up for questions, and just take a moment to come back. While we're getting our focus back, I'm going to review the topics for everyone. This is also on the program that you can get to from our homepage. And we have a schedule of events on the homepage. If you want to see what's next date, as Spencer mentioned, we have lots of ways for you to find the next date will be live and also the topic. So I'm going to read the topics we cover today. And this is the question we always bring to our conscious conversation. Lori and Spencer participate live with us, which is wonderful. And we want you to participate if you'd like to. As you ask the question in the comments, remember to respect privacy. This is public, so we don't want to use anyone's name. And how you identify the person, be general so that it's not obvious if anybody's listening or participating that you're referencing them. If it's something you do need to speak to me privately about instead of public, you can do that. On our homepage, you'll see on the slides that go around, there's a couple of places where you can connect to have an email conversation with me, to ask a question privately, or you can even schedule a phone conversation with me if that's helpful. All right, so the question is, which of the topics today would you like assistance or guidance, more guidance to better understand the concept, or to know better how, or more easily how to implement it in your life in some way? And these are the 3 points. The first concept is, without conscious choice, you will never have self-mastery. And then the question, second point is a question. Do you honor your awareness when the dynamic that you're involved with another person, when the dynamic feels off? And the other question, third point is, do you stay present within yourself when that happens, or do you shut off your feelings? So do you stay present, fine tune your energy, or do you not honor that's off? Or do you immediately go to try to manage theirs and not stay present within yourself? Okay, well, who would like to go first? Either of you have something? Or Spencer, do we have any comments?
Let's see. I do not see any comments about it. Just some good mornings and hellos. So hello and good morning to everybody commenting.
Hello, everybody. We're glad you're with us. We always love having you with us live. All right.
Yeah.
Any Either of you have something you want to?
Let me ask Lori, do you have anything off the top of your head? Otherwise, I can jump right in.
I do, but go ahead. Feel
Nope,
free.
nope. I went first last time, so I'll
Okay.
acquiesce. Yep.
Yeah. When we were talking about, coming in and absolutely sensing that something's off with someone, and you were saying, you just ask them kindly, process. I have a hard time with that. I really do. I take a deep breath and sometimes my flight or fight kicks in.
Mhm.
And there's a big, strong part of me that goes into flight mode. Like I don't want to be here in this energy. And at that moment, it's very difficult for me to really take that deep breath and and really stay steadfast in the presence of an individual. And that's where I wobble and I need help with because I can see it. I can see it, even that because of my ability to keep myself, but I do want to help. I do want to do things, but it's like if they're not asking, if they're not, like, I just don't know what to do now.
Right, right. Okay. You brought up some really, really good points. Thank you. First, I want to say how it's wonderful that you honor that you feel it. Right.
Mm,
So, and I don't want to suggest in any way that you ignore the fight or flight
mhm.
because there are times when you need to do that. You need to leave. And you
Yeah,
can do it. You can do it kindly. You can do it
yeah,
graciously, but or maybe something really bad's about to happen and you need to get the hell out of Dodge, you know? It's like,
exactly.
hey, I'll be back. Just a minute, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. Honor that. And maybe it's not that they're about to do something awful. Maybe it's that that energy right in that moment for you is is more than you can handle and stay healthy, more than you can handle and stay focused on something that's really meaningful for you.
Mhm,
So the fight or flight can also be that.
mhm,
So, and there's another element to your question. So, if Sam, I just want to clarify, we're going to talk about the fight or flight, and then we're going to talk about the urge to help them change so that you don't feel the fight or flight, so that you don't feel like, oh, I don't know how to be here. So please stop doing what you're doing that makes me want to run or, all of that, flee, right?
mhm.
Okay. So there's like the two elements. Am I understanding the question?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. It's like I want you to change so I don't feel this. It's more of a, in my brain, I'm going, ooh, something's really wonky. How can I help with that? But yeah, I can see where that's, oh, it's not that I really want to help. It's that I want this discomfort to go away, you know.
And that's understandable. That's your primal brain. That's the human, right?
Mhm.
So the fight or flight, it's not, you don't want to ignore the fight or flight. It's very, very important. You don't want to let it rule you, but you do want to let it bring you awareness of like eek, eek, eek,
Yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
because, like I've shared.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Yeah, because sometimes it is. I've shared about being at a rally with the KKK, and I was with the Gandhi Institute. We were very quiet and peaceful, and I had very clear guidance. You need to leave right now. It was loud. It was like a voice told
Mm,
me, it's time to go and do it now. Don't wait. That was the fight. That was my fight or flight went,
yeah.
right? And because I left, I was not standing where tear gas broke out. See, so it kept me safe. The people I was with were wonderful. It wasn't anything about the group I was with. It was for my safety,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm,
you want to always listen to the fight or flight.
mhm.
Now, in that moment, you probably can't process the fight or flight with that person there,
Yeah.
that energy, that whatever the energy is, you see.
Mhm, mhm.
But I would absolutely honor it and
Mhm.
excuse yourself. Go to the ladies' room, or go for a walk, or go for a drive. Do if you're, I mean, you want to be grounded, of course, get
Mhm.
grounded before you get in a car and drive, obviously, or
Yeah, yeah.
do anything. But definitely honor it. But if you can step out of it, do step
Mhm.
out of the energy field that's triggered your fight or flight. Step out of it. If
Yeah,
all
that's a good thing. You say, oh, go to the ladies' room and take yourself out of that energy field. And
Yeah,
because it's like you just walk in and you've been looking forward to being with that person. You just walk in and it's like, ooh, ooh, bad timing. Ooh, you
yeah,
know. Yeah.
exactly. Right.
Yeah. So that'd be good thing to kind of practice and get into my cellular memory of, oop, fight or flight, let's go to the ladies' room.
Yes.
Let's figure this out.
Don't
Sit for
push.
a moment and breathe into it.
Yeah, don't stay in that energy and push through it. That's
Yeah.
because that's going to cause you, they could cause you to get sick, like a cold or catch a flu, or
Yeah.
we have viruses going around, right? You don't want that, can cause your immune system to drop. Dealing
Yes.
with that intense energy that's
Yeah.
toxic, because that's what your fight or flight is going. Something toxic, something toxic.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that you don't care about the person. I'm saying you take care of
Exactly.
yourself,
Yeah.
in that moment, right? Now, the second part of your question was the urge to help them not be in a toxic energy.
Mm.
So I would say the number one thing to do is get yourself, you're on the airplane, the oxygen mask have dropped, put yours on first. So
Yeah.
go to the ladies' room, get out of the toxicity so your fight or flight calms down, and get yourself grounded
Mhm.
and choose consciously your frequency. Don't shut off your awareness, don't repress those feelings, and then ask for
Mhm.
guidance.
Okay.
I need to
That
leave
helps.
and come back and visit this person another day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do I need to say something? Yeah. And you'll get clear guidance when you stay grounded. But
Mhm.
make sure your intention is sacred, not
Mhm.
managing their energy.
Yeah.
What's best for me? What is wise?
And
What is,
even, is there something that they need that I may be able to help with and get that little guidance directly versus they probably don't know what they need. And that's why the energy is all, you
yes.
know, okay,
And
gotcha.
if you're guided to offer a support,
Hmm.
then ask. Don't just go do it.
Right, right, right.
Because, sometimes it doesn't feel good for somebody to come in and go, you're a mess. Let me help. It might be true, but they might not want to receive it. And you know
I'm
what?
just gonna wallow in my mess for a minute. Thank
They
you.
have the right to choose their own
Yeah.
consciousness, to evolve it, to not evolve it, to choose what energy they want to experience, even
Mhm.
to stay unconscious. They do. It
Yeah.
never feels good to try to manage somebody's energy for them.
Yeah.
You can't actually do it anyway. So
No. It's just
use
fluctuate.
that effort for you. you can hold you can hold sacred space for them and
Mhm.
not say a word. You can hold sacred space, and if you're guided to say, you seem a little stressed, or you seem a little off, is there anything I can do? But then ask if that's good for you, because maybe it's just better for you to leave.
Yeah.
Let them deal with it, because we don't want to constantly be enabling people to have toxic energy, dump it on us, and we'll come in and help them with it.
Right, 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 right.
That's not a fun way to live. You deserve
No, it is not.
it. Yeah. Cool. Does that help?
It does. It does.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any comments, Spencer?
Yeah, we do have a comment coming in, and it kind of rolls into my question. So I'll start with their comment, and
Okay.
then kind of elaborate into what I'm thinking about. So the question that we got online is, do you honor your awareness when the dynamic feels off? I believe this is the most difficult in my present self-mastery level, if there is a level of my energy field. And yeah, I was kind of thinking about that as well, because I feel like I don't always honor my awareness when the dynamic feels off. And I had a wonderful example of that this week where um it had felt off and had felt off for a while, and I just kind of kept on just head down and trudging through it until I reached a breaking point and kind
Yeah.
of snapped at somebody that I care about. And kind of then, I don't want to say I unloaded, but I did not in a conscious way tell them like, hey, this
Yeah.
isn't working for me. Like, this doesn't feel good. And how can we, and try to come to terms with it in that way. Like, um, and I don't know if that's what the commenter was kind of referring to, but that's how I interpreted their thing. That's kind of how I'm feeling too. I don't always honor that.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you.
Thank
Honor
you.
that awareness when it
Thank
feels
you.
off. I mostly, I don't know, I don't even go to fight or flight. I think of A Christmas Story with the kid all bundled up, and he laid there. It was his only defense. Just until it gets to the point where you unload and you start walloping on somebody that you care about, and that sort of a thing.
Yeah, even verbal walloping, right?
Yep.
And silent, nonverbal energy walloping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to address the question from the in the comment first, and then there's a
Yeah.
kind of another layer that we'll come to that's part of yours as well. Okay.
Perfect.
So the way to, if I'm understanding, and whoever asked the question or made the comment, please, if I get it wrong, I'm not picking up on what you're wanting, please, don't be shy about saying that. So what I'm understanding and sensing that you're wanting is how better to learn to honor, to be in a regular consistent flow of honoring your own awareness. I think that's really what the first level of the question is. So that is an excellent question too. I'm glad that was raised, because if it's new, in our culture, let me start with this. In our culture, we're really, at the human level, we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to pay attention to energy. And that if we do, there was a day when if you did, you were really, really weird, Now it's not so much. It's a little more commonly talked about, but we can thank Einstein maybe for this bringing that into science. So it didn't seem quite so strange. Science kind of gave it some merit. So, because he was the first scientist that we really came to understand him teaching everything's energy. Of course, many scientists have added to that as well. So, everything is energy. Everything is an exchange of energy, and energy in motion, energy flowing, energy moving, or energy getting bottled up, and then a big explosion happens, right? So, what what is important is to be aware that there was some kind of cultural programming for the person who asked this, and you too, probably, Spencer, which is, like I said, very common in our culture. There's been programming that it's not okay for you to feel what you feel. That whatever you feel, either it's not safe to feel it and express it, or it's not valued, it's not important. Other people's feelings matter more than yours, right? I mean, I was raised in a situation where both were true. Other people's feelings mattered. So just shut up and quit bothering anybody about my feelings as a kid. And then also, it wasn't safe to say, hey, I'm scared, I need help, or whatever, because I was just going to get punished for it. So it wasn't safe to ever express my feelings. It wasn't safe to have them, and it wasn't safe to express them. So, I really had to learn how to feel my feelings. And our feelings, our emotions, are like the little wonderful little indicators in the car back when everything was knobs, like dials. It's like those little lovely dials that go like, everything's humming along here, good, good, good. Wait a minute, not. That's like Lori was saying, fight or flight. The alarm goes off, the little, or the thing goes all the way to the right or all the way to the left. It's either too hot or too cold or too full or too empty. It's an immediate, our emotions are immediate indicators of energy that we're not aware of, that we're not paying attention to. Something doesn't feel good. Something feels off. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. It could be scary. It could be uncomfortable. It could be confusing. It could be, I don't kind of like distasteful, like somebody's saying degrading things. That doesn't feel good. You don't want to listen to that, degrading or racist or whatever, talking down to people, being mean to people, and you're around it. And you're like, I don't want to be around this. So something feels off. That's why I use the word off. It doesn't feel, it's not like right on, like, you're tuning into a beautiful note you want to sing. It's a little off key, right? It's off. It doesn't feel the way you want it to feel. So the most important thing is to make a commitment to yourself. In answer to the comment question, make a commitment that you will honor every feeling you have. You will honor it. You don't have to make anybody else be different. You don't even have to tell people about it. You can. I mean, it might sometimes, it's appropriate to do that. Sometimes it's just something for you to know and honor about yourself. This feels off. Somebody says, let's do some examples. Somebody says, let's meet for coffee or lunch or dinner, right? And you kind of go, do you just immediately say yes, or do you feel into it? Does that feel, how does it feel? That feels like that would be fun. Great, let's go do it. That feels like it'd be fun, but not at the time they offered. Maybe we can do it a different time, offer another time. Or, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Something about it doesn't feel good. Honor it. And then ground in to, take that deep breath, which activates that vagus nerve. Make sure you're aware of your own energy, open to divine presence and power. Ask for guidance. Do I say yes? Do I say no? How to say it graciously, if you can, and then let it be. Don't try to manage. Goes back to boundaries. You can't manage other people's responses to your boundary. You can choose love if they respond negatively. If their feelings are hurt, that you say no. And maybe it's somebody you really care about. You don't want their feelings to be hurt, but that's not yours to manage. That's theirs to manage. And if their feelings are hurt, they can say, if they choose to be conscious, they could say, the way you handled that hurt my feelings. And then you can talk about it. But you're still not responsible for them choosing to have hurt feelings, choosing to take it personally, as opposed to, it didn't feel good to this other person. If I invite someone to do something and it doesn't feel good to them, why get upset? That's me being that's me trying to, manipulate and, somebody else's life and choices and energy. If it doesn't feel good to them, we don't then I don't want to do it either, I want, that's that sacredness in relationship. Everybody matters equally. Everybody is valued equally. We all are unique in our gifts and talents and abilities and interests, but our sacred worth is equal. We are divinely worthy, every single one of us, every sentient being. So I hope that helps in the comment. And if you need a different layer, if there's a little bit of a nuance I didn't get to, please don't be shy about asking again. All right. Now, Spencer, I think maybe we touched on yours, but I think there's a little more to it.
I feel like that was actually pretty good. Pretty good. But if we want to go deeper on it and see, I'm open to that as well.
I just want, there's one other element. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but ask yourself at least. I wonder why. Why is it I tend to not be aware when something feels off? And just be aware. Is it like only in work, only with friends? You know what I mean? Is it in a specific type of relationship that you do it? And then in others, you do pay more attention, or is it that just when you get really busy, you do it, or when your energy's kind of low, maybe you're not feeling well, or you got too much going on? You know what I mean? Just notice when that tends to be a habit that kicks in, an unconscious habit. I would say notice when, and then make it a little inquiry about, what's that about? What do I need to be more aware of for myself, for my own well-being?
Yeah, it's really helpful. And me and my I don't want to use the word analytical, but my analytical mind, um and reflective, I guess, is a better word. Like, that's gives me something to reflect on, um moving forward. So yeah, that I'm already doing it. already starting on it. I'm always good to look into something and dive deeper on my end and see why it is.
And I'm glad you said that, because I if we will learn to do that like a child, with wonder, you know, with awe and wonder. It's not about like critical self-analysis. What is wrong with me that I
Yeah.
keep doing this? Blah, it's like isn't that interesting? In this particular situation, I tend to kind of, flip a switch and go off awareness, go off the grid here. I wonder what that's about. I kind of go MIA. What is that? It's
Hmm.
kind of fun, and you learn about yourself, and then you empower yourself, because the self mastery is so cool. That energy mastery is like, oh, this is like, oh boy, I can do this better. This is going to be fun. You know,
Yep. Yep.
cool. Did we have a response from the
We
in the comments?
Yep, we did. They just said that offered me a good beginning. So
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Okay. Anything else that anybody's asking about, or anybody else want to ask a question?
I am complete.
Okay, then. Okay, let me go back to I'm going to go let you know what's coming up. Okay, so as Spencer said, we will not be here next Sunday, the weekend of Halloween. You might think of it as that. We will be back the first Sunday in November, which is November 6th. It will be the principle 4 of conscious communication, essential elements. It will be number 4, energy pushing and pulling as control dynamics. And here's what we'll be talking about. This one's going to be really important. It's a big, big one here. The need to elicit certain behaviors from others is a control dynamic. That'll be the concept. And then we have 2 questions we're going to explore. The first one is about the dynamic that's often called an energy vampire. Do you pull energy from others to feel good about yourself, or let others drain you because you want them to feel good? And then the next question, the third element, which is also a question, has to do with the dynamic that I called the bully dynamic. Do you push energy on others to prove yourself, or allow others to be invasive and dominating with you because you feel overwhelmed? So in both cases, we're going to explore, are you doing one of these behaviors, or are you constantly letting other people do it to you? And we're going to look into that. And in both instances, this might surprise you, little giveaway here. In both instances, it is a type of control. In one, it's overt control, and another one, it's like trying to like be safe and let other people control and be safe by not trying to stay, be visible and hold your boundary and all that. So it's a very important thing to learn about, and we're gonna explore it with sacredness, not with like, oh, these awful, horrible people, because some really good intentional people such as us, we sometimes will find ourselves doing some of that, because again, a lot of this is taught in our culture. And when I say that, I'm not saying blame parents and blame, even teachers or whatever. It's just something it's culturally taught and accepted And it's wonderful that in recent years, we're beginning to say, you know what, it doesn't have to be that way. Let's find a better way. And I think it's wonderful that we're beginning to do that out, openly instead of like a closeted spiritual little group. It's like now it's something we're just bringing out into the light, which is wonderful. Okay, so I want to thank you all, everybody, for being present. Thank you for your comments. The energy of your presence is wonderful in our organization. We love it. Spencer brought that up. We love it. I know Lori feels the same way. I also know that the energy of your contribution in the comment, in the conversation, that means a lot because the questions you ask, Lori Spencer, and those of you who participate, whether you do it live or later on a replay, those questions help other people who see them down the road. So thank you for doing that. That helps get our message out into the world, and we appreciate that. And the likes and the loves and the shares, all of that. See, it's all part of expanding our reach so that we can accomplish what we're here for, which is creating a center of vortex energy where people come to learn about conscious living and practice it in a community, so that then it's easier to practice it out in the world with people that don't even understand, have not yet awakened to it, but sometimes they want to, they just don't know. And so you're helping us create that little vortex and then reach people as it expands. And so we thank you for that. And for those of you who are able and willing to contribute financially, that helps us sustain what we're doing now. It also helps us expand with our video courses coming up, and in the future, some retreats we have planned. So we appreciate any and all of the various forms of your energy contribution to us, as we are very honored to constantly, every week, at least most weeks, bring you. Well, I do something every week, even when we're not live. So you do have something from us every week available to you. And I thank you for that. We all thank you for that. I say that on behalf of all of us. So have a wonderful week and weekend. I hope if you celebrate Halloween, have fun. If not, do something fun for yourself, as Halloween is about imagination, so enjoy something imaginative, even if you don't choose to participate in the experience of Halloween that happens here in the US this coming weekend. And then we will see you back the first Sunday in November 6th. Much love to you.